In the heart of New York City stood the penthouse of Alexander Grant, a man who had it all: wealth, influence, and the kind of presence that turned heads wherever he went. At 36, he was one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the city. His story was one of grit and brilliance, of climbing from nothing to the top floor of glass towers that now bore his name. But despite all of his wealth, Alexander prided himself on one thing above all else: respect. He knew what it meant to grow up overlooked, dismissed, and humiliated, and he had sworn that no one under his roof would ever be treated the way he once was. That promise was about to be tested. Maria Alvarez had been working for Alexander for nearly 2 years. She wasn't just a maid. She was a quiet presence who kept the household running with grace. Born in Mexico, she had come to the U.S. to support her aging parents and send her younger brother to school. Every morning, she arrived on time, wearing the same humble smile and soft-spoken tone. She never intruded. She never asked for anything. But Alexander noticed. He saw the extra touches, the way she folded his mother's blanket when she visited, the way she left fresh flowers in the guest room even when no one was expected, the way she treated his home like it was her own. To him, Maria represented dignity in silence. To someone else, she represented something very different. Isabella Knight was everything society thought a millionaire's girlfriend should be. Beautiful, poised, draped in couture, she loved the spotlight. She was used to what she wanted and being seen as the star of every room she entered. Alexander had met her at a gala. At first, she was witty, charming, and seemed to care about philanthropy, something Alexander valued. But slowly, he noticed cracks in her facade. She treated waiters with disdain. She rolled her eyes at drivers. And sometimes, Alexander caught her giving Maria a look. The kind of look that saw a person not as human, but as an inconvenience. Alexander had given her the benefit of the doubt. Everyone had bad days, he reasoned, but one evening he learned the truth. It was a Friday night. Alexander was hosting a small gathering of investors, friends, and colleagues at his penthouse. The city glittered to the tall windows as champagne glasses clinked and laughter filled the room. Maria was in the background, moving discreetly, making sure everything ran smoothly. She set down appetizers, refilled drinks, and quietly retreated. Alexander was across the room when he noticed Isabella step into the kitchen, where Maria was cleaning up. At first, he thought nothing of it, until he heard Isabella's voice. Sharp, mocking, cruel. "You know, Maria," Isabella sneered, holding up one of the champagne glasses. "It's funny. You scrub and polish this glass, but no matter how hard you work, you'll always just be the maid." Maria froze, her hands still on the tray. Her cheeks turned pink, but she said nothing. Isabella smirked, circling her like a predator. "Do you ever dream of being more? Or is scrubbing other people's messes the highlight of your life? I can't imagine living like that. No designer clothes, no travel, no man of your own. Pathetic, really." A couple of women, Isabella's friends, had slipped in behind her, giggling as if it were entertainment. Maria tried to walk away, but Isabella blocked her. "Oh, don't be shy. I'm just telling you the truth. People like you should be grateful we even let you in our homes. Honestly, Alex is too generous. If I were him, I'd have a robot do your job. At least machines don't look so desperate." The laughter that followed sliced through the air like a knife. What Isabella didn't know was that Alexander had stepped into the hallway. He had seen everything, heard everything, and in that moment his decision was made. The room went silent as Alexander entered the kitchen. His tall frame cast a shadow across the counter, and his expression was unreadable. "Isabella," he said calmly, "repeat what you just said." Isabella blinked, caught off guard. "Alex, baby, I was just joking. You know how I am. I was teasing." "Teasing?" His voice was low, dangerous. "Humiliating someone who works harder than you've ever worked in your life. That's what you call teasing?" Maria looked down, clutching the tray to her chest, trying to disappear. Isabella's face hardened. "She's a maid, Alex. Why are you defending her? Don't tell me you care about what she thinks. She should know her place." The words hung heavy in the air. Alexander's jaw tightened. He turned to the guests, who had now gathered, drawn by the tension. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said loudly enough for all to hear, "let me tell you something about Maria." All eyes shifted. Maria's hands trembled. 2 years ago, when I hired her, I was at one of the lowest points of my life. My father had passed away. I was drowning in work. This apartment was a shell. Do you know who kept me sane? Who made sure I ate? Who left notes reminding me of my meetings? Who treated me with respect when I couldn't even respect myself? He pointed to Maria. Her. Maria. The room was dead silent. Alexander stepped closer to Isabella. His voice dropped, but it was filled with steel. "And do you know what makes someone truly wealthy, Isabella? It's not the clothes, the parties, or the attention. It's how you treat people when you think no one important is watching. Tonight, you show me exactly who you are." Isabella's face went pale. "Alex, wait." But Alexander wasn't finished. "Pack your things. You won't spend another night in my home humiliating someone I respect more than you." The guests gasped. Maria's eyes widened in shock. And Isabella? She stood frozen, speechless for once in her life. The next morning, Isabella was gone. Her designer bags, her perfumes, her shoes, all removed from Alexander's penthouse. She tried calling, texting, begging for another chance, but Alexander didn't reply. Instead, he called Maria into his study. She came nervously, hands clasped together, expecting she didn't know what. "Maria," Alexander said softly, "I owe you an apology." She looked startled. "For what, sir?" "For allowing someone like that into this home. For not protecting you sooner." Tears welled in her eyes, and she shook her head. "No, Mr. Grant, please. You've always treated me with respect." He leaned forward. "Respect is enough. I want to do more. You've given so much of yourself without asking for anything in return. Tell me, Maria, what is your dream?" She hesitated. Her voice was barely a whisper. I always wanted to study, to become a nurse, but I had to take care of my family instead." Alexander nodded slowly. "Then let me help. I'll pay for your education. Full tuition, living expenses, everything. You've spent years taking care of me. It's time you get to take care of yourself." Maria's hands flew to her mouth as tears streamed down her cheeks. I don't know what to say." "Say yes," Alexander said simply. And she did. Months later, Maria was enrolled in nursing school. She balanced her studies with part-time work, and every time she put on her scrubs, she felt a pride she had never known before. As for Isabella, she faded from the circles of influence she once craved. Stories spread quickly in New York, and no one wanted to be associated with cruelty. But Alexander, he thrived, not just in business, but in spirit. He knew he had made the right choice, to honor kindness over arrogance, dignity over vanity. At a charity gala a year later, he introduced Maria to his colleagues, not as the maid, not as the help, but as Maria Alvarez, future nurse, and a woman who taught everyone in that room the true meaning of respect. And the guests remembered the night when a millionaire chose humanity over pride, because what he did that evening left everyone speechless.